Yo, what is going on, guys? EJ here, bringing another Lord of the Rings Rise to War video. Today, guys, I've got an amazing, awesome video for you. But first off, I just want to say this took me ages to make this video. I had to go source a ton of information. Basically, I had to go through tons of battle logs and stuff to find out all the information for the tier 4 troops for every single faction in the game. Also had to get some off a couple of the other special servers. I've been doing a lot of messaging and stuff like that. Yeah, unfortunately a lot of this is not just readily available on the internet, so I had to go sourcing it a lot. So yeah, if you would just like to help me out, guys, with just a simple quick like on today's video, it would be very much appreciated. It helps out more than you could possibly imagine. But yeah, let's not muck around, let's get into today's video. So today's video, guys, is going to be talking about factions. I've touched on this before, but as Season 1 is coming to an end, guys, and we're going to be rolling into Server 2 soon, and we're going to be merging servers and stuff like that, we want to be thinking whether you want to be sticking with the same faction that you had for Season 1, or if you'd like to mix it up and give something else a try, have different map positioning, get to explore more of the map that you may have not in Season 1. So yeah, guys, for example, I'm in server 16 at the moment and on Gondor, and basically we're going to be changing factions. I'll probably talk about that more in a video, but Gondor was really good, and basically we leveled up our good commanders and stuff like that, but we want to move and try out and explore different areas and stuff like that, because if you just keep playing the same faction over and over, you have to just keep on taking the same keeps for the first week, 2 weeks, and it's going to get really boring and repetitive. You won't get access to certain special troops, but if you move, you might be able to get access to some even other ones, special troops, and they apparently going to be bringing in even more special troops in Season 2. So yeah, moving around the map and getting different positionings and stuff like that in different factions is really going to help you out, guys, without an absolute doubt. So yeah, let's get into it. So as you can see on the screen, which has been up for the whole time, we have a map of Middle Earth here. So basically, we're just going to go from left to right and explain which faction is which and which section. So as you can see here, you got your dark purple here. Now this is Lindon, which is one of the special ones. I will go more into depth about all of about what they are, what the faction is, and everything, and all their stuff in a second. We're just going through the map here real quick. So you got Lindon right there, guys. Next to it in the light limey greeny color is ARNOR, which is possibly we may be going that one Season 2. Up above it you got ANGMAR, which is for the evil side commanders. I will be going through all the evil side today, so a lot of my videos are usually based on the good side, but we're going through everything today. Lower down, just below that, in the light brown, we have ISENGARD. And then down below that in the dark blue, we have GONDOR. Followed by up the top, we have ROHAN. And then up from that, we have the elves, or LOTHLORIEN. And then up in the light blue, in your top right-hand corner there, you guys have your dwarves. Followed by RHUN. And then down the bottom, you have MORDOR, of course, with Barad-dûr right in the middle there. But yeah, we're not going to muck around. Let's get into all the information, which is going to help you decide on which faction you guys want to go with Season 2. Now, let's just keep in mind that with Season 2, there's going to be new updates. They're working on things at the moment. I have talked to the developers a little bit. They are taking your guys' feedback into consideration, because we had a big chat about all the evil and good mixing commanders and all this embassies and stuff like that coming in. So I do have a date for Season 2. I can't release it just yet because it is subject to change, because they still are currently working on things as we speak. But yeah, basically one of the things that I talked about in my recent video about my Season 2 update, if you want to go watch more about that, there's a video on my channel. Basically, they're going to be doing good and evil mixes and stuff like that, but the good thing about it is, let's say you played as good faction Season 1 and you want to go over to evil. So you're not going to have any of your evil commanders leveled up, and so you're going to be starting very low. Now that would probably be a bad decision. So what you'd want to probably do for Season 2, you want to play as another good faction, but once every 24 hours in the tavern, you can change your tips over, so you can actually level up the evil commanders and unlock evil commanders. So then maybe possibly when Season 3 comes and you've got some commanders built up and stuff with some respect and stuff like that, you'll be more set up for evil. So yeah, definitely a big tip is if you played as good in Season 1, I'd probably recommend sticking it with it until Season 2. Alright, let's go in, guys. I got some information here. We're bringing up all on the screen. So let's go. So first off, guys, we've got EREBOR, aka the dwarfs. Now their special ability, as you can see on the screen, is a 5% faster conscription rate, which is really good. So training up your troops and stuff like that. Now their special tier 4 troop is the Iron Warriors. Now these Iron Warriors, they're really tanky, they're really good. I'll bring up some information and just up on them in a moment. But yeah, basically EREBOR is basically your base up in the top right hand corner before, and you got places like Gale and Lake Town and stuff around it. And yeah, the dwarves, so yeah, you get that 5% faster conscription time, and of course you'll get access to all the dwarven troops at the start. And yeah, they're really a very good defensive faction. Rightio, guys, so now I'm just going to bring up their tier 4 units, the Iron Warrior, and we're going to have a quick look at those. Rightio, guys, so as you can see here, you've got your Iron Warriors. Now, I had to source all these, so I can't click on their special abilities. But yeah, Iron Warriors are like really good, as you can see, defensive-wise. You get 50 per command. Their damage is 30 to 34. Their HP of 86, defense 131. Speed of 54 and siege 42. Their conscription takes mostly on the ore side, as well as food and wood. Yeah, they're very hard to conscript, but yeah, like I said, guys, Iron Warriors are really tanky. They're really good at taking damage and stuff like that. And yeah, they got a pretty decent, solid damage amount as well. But as you can see, their defense of 131 is extremely good, and their HP of 86 points is really good. And they're also a very good siege unit as well, guys, when you're taking on your garrison. So yeah, that's going to be EREBOR in a nutshell. So if you think EREBOR is a good pick for you, you can go with them. Otherwise, let's move on to the next one, shall we? Rightio, guys, so next on our list, we're going to be going with the Elves, LOTHLORIEN. Now, their special ability, as you can see here, as a faction, is plus 5% Commander XP. So if you want to level up your commanders a lot quicker, it's going to be very helpful. It's called Elven Wisdom, as you can see on the screen. Now, their map positioning is very good for the ring as well, which I showed you earlier on the map. They're pretty much centered right in the middle near the ring and up near EREBOR and stuff like that as well, guys. Now, their special unit, the March Wardens, are pretty decent, but they're very easy to counter. I've versed a lot of the elves in Season 1, and the March Wardens, they're alright, but I feel like they're pretty easy to counter and damage really quickly. So yeah, I'll go into some information about them right now, guys. Rightio, guys, so as you can see here now, we have the March Wardens. Of course, it's 50 units per command again. They are a ranged attack type. They're very good at, obviously, attacking range. So these guys are really good. They can take down bow knights and stuff like that really well. But the best way to counter these, if you're playing good faction, for example, is Dunedain, or snipers and that. Any ranged back will really damage these guys a lot. But as you can see, their damage is 59 to 60. Very, very, very good damage. They got a decently mild HP of 66. Their defense is not the best though, so that's why they can do a lot of damage. But if you can counter that damage, or at least counter it so you can kill them first before they do all that damage to you, you're going to be doing pretty well. Their speed's extremely good, and their siege is very average. Now, as you can see, conscription, they both basically, is mostly wood, followed by ore and then food, and they're a very hard conscription, like always, for a tier 4. But you're going to be needing to get a lot of wood. But the good thing about being in a Lothlorien map, there is a lot of wood source on the map, like that, for example. Rightio, guys, so let's move on to our next one. But yeah, just before we do, if you're interested in playing the elves, in summary of them, they have very good map positioning for getting to the ring early. Yeah, you can level up your commanders very quickly, but I have to admit, the March Wardens as a tier 4 troop are definitely not one of the best. They're easy to counter. but you do have access to earlier things like eagles and ants, for example. So just keep that in mind if you guys want to go with Lothlorien in Season 2. Rightio guys, so now we're moving on to one of the newer ones, which a lot of you guys would have not played yet unless you were in a special server, Lindon. Now these guys are based out in the Grey Havens area. So you're going to be getting really into early battles with ISENGARD, for example. It's, yeah, a pretty good map positioning if you want a nice, quieter, earlier start compared to some crazy like the elves and that. You might be getting into battles really quickly, being right in the center of the map, especially in a few weeks when they all go for the ring. But as you can see, Lindon here, guys, their special ability as a faction is plus 10% wooden grain collection yield, which is really, really, really good. And their special units are the Noldor long shots. So yeah, this is a special faction, and this will be in Season 2 for everybody. So yeah, let's go have a look at those Noldor long shots, shall we? They're pretty damn nice. So as you can see here now, guys, obviously 50 per command and a range. I've noticed that most are ranged when it comes to the tier 4. But basically, their damage is 55 to 56, which is very good. It's up there with the high tier, as well as a pretty decent HP of 60. Their defense is 35. Now, their speed of 69 and siege is 16. Conscription is going to cost a lot of wood and ore, but with that 10% bonus of wood, all troops, not just the tier 4, are going to be very easy to conscript and train very quickly if you're playing as Lindon, guys. But yeah, these guys are pretty decent, but they can be countered very easy with a lot of troops. For example, if you were with Gondor, the Dunedain and stuff like that. Once again, anything which is strong against range. But yeah, they're basically very high output, of damage, but they don't have the best defense. As where for the Dwarfs Iron Warriors, they have mild attack but good defense. But defense of 35 is slightly pretty decent. So I would call these like a very balanced tier 4 troop. Definitely not the worst, but definitely not the best. But yeah, Lindon, if you want a nice quiet start to build up and just go, you can get early access to the Shire and Hobbit troops and stuff for these guys in Lindon. It'll be a perfect selection for you guys for Season 2. Alright, let's move on to the next one, guys, shall we? I hope you guys are enjoying the video so far. Rightio, guys, the next one we're moving on to is ARNOR. Now, ARNOR has had a great map position, which I showed you before. It's right in the middle there. You may get into some battles with ANGMAR, maybe if the elves come across, and ISENGARD. But it's a really good centered in the Midwest part of Middle Earth, and you can get pretty early access to some special troops like the Eagles and Ents if you fight your way over east way towards the ring. So I think it has very good map positioning. Now their special ability as a faction is 5% cheaper construction cost, which is really good as well. So you can still just gain all your resources and stuff like that really quickly and easily just by building up your tiles and that. But it's going to cost you 5% cheaper per construction when building buildings, which will be really good for early to mid game. And then once you complete them all, it's going to be no use anymore. So yeah, that is their Land of Kings ability. Now, their special units Ranger of the North are really good, so let's go in and have a look at them, shall we? They're pretty nice, I like them. So yeah, the Rangers of the North, and like, it's the Land of the Kings, so I feel like a lot of people might want to go this. But basically, they got damage of 35 to 38. Now, these guys are an extremely well balanced. They have very good avoidance, speed, and counter attacking. Their damage of 35 to 38 is pretty balanced. But they got very good HP and defense, very balanced. They got amazing speed at 100, and their siege is definitely not the best. But as you can see, their conscription costs are considerably less compared to other ones. So as well, that's going to help you out a lot with being able to train these guys a lot quicker, because they're basically 2,000 to 3,000 less RSS, like for example wood and stuff like that, per the other ones who have already looked. So yeah, I really like these as a tier 4. Of course, they're ranged once again. They can be countered, but with a good army and troop combination, I feel like the Rangers of the North are definitely one of the best tier 4 troops in the entire game. So yeah, guys, ARNOR might be a very good selection if you like to go for that one. But if you're more into the evil side, we'll be getting over to those guys in just a second. We've just got a couple more to go, and I'm pretty sure you've heard of the other two. Rightio, guys, so the next one, which I know a lot about because I've played a Season 1, is GONDOR. Now, GONDOR has a 5% faster construction speed, which, with the ring ability, which you can speed up conscription and stuff like that, can be really good. Their special unit is the Swan Knights. I know they're very, very, very good at taking defense and stuff like that. So we'll go have a look at them in just a second. But their map positioning, it's very good map positioning for getting a nice, quiet start, as well as getting a lot of land mass on Middle Earth. Whether you can make some good diplomacy with MORDOR or ISENGARD. If you can't do that, making good borders of your defense and stuff like that on your lower east and up in your west north borders, and you gain all your land very quickly, you can get a very good stronghold and then build and make your way up to the ring and that. So they got, yeah, also you have access to Oathbreakers, and you can be the only people to have Oathbreakers if you can hold your borders, which can be very, very, very useful, the Oathbreakers, which are in the Pass of the Dead. ROHAN can come down through there, but you can make a pretty stronghold through there. You can push up the Dun Harrow, for example, and take that. But yeah, let's go have a look at their tier 4 troops, the Swan Knights, guys. Yeah, I've used these a lot in battle, so these guys are really good. So, obviously, these guys are a melee. They're the first of not being a ranged tier 4. Their damage of 30 to 37 is really good, but they've got amazing HP and defense. 102 HP. Now, these guys, if you put these with like bears and ants, for example, you're going to have 300,000 to 400,000 on a level 50 commander of HP, which even with a strong attack that does about 250,000, it's not going to take you down. Like, you're still going to have 150,000 HP left. These guys here, I know a lot more of their special ability. They absorb all the damage in the first instance of the battle. And then, these are guys are really good with putting with healing commanders like Gandalf and stuff, for example, or Galadriel or RHUN. And yeah, basically they'll absorb all the damage, and then you get a commander that does healing. For example, like RHUN, like I was just saying, that on round 2 they will heal them. And then basically it's just like you just go in the battle and nothing's happened. They're also very good with Boromir, who's got a skill, I can't remember the name of it at the moment, it's not coming to my head, but basically you avoid the first instances of damages in battle. So yeah, the Swan Knights are an extremely good defensive unit, as well as some good damage as well. But yeah, they're more of a defensive unit, and then you want your backup troops that are going to do the damage as well after they absorb your damage. But yeah, guys, we've only got one more for the good side, and I'm pretty sure you guys know who they are. So let's go have a look at ROHAN, shall we? Rightio, guys, so we have ROHAN, the last of our good-sided factions, the home of the Horse Lords, or the Horse Masters, and basically their special ability, as you can see, is 4 Aerolingus, and basically their march speed of 3%, so they're really quick. Now, ROHAN has a beautiful map positioning, but they have a lot of borders that can be attacked. They can be attacked by the Elves, Isengard, and Gondor very early. But they have good positioning to go for the ring early. They also have early access to the Ents that are honestly very good in the game. Very, very, very good defensive unit. Now, their special units, the Marshals, are very good as well. They got some very good damage and defense, as you'll very see in just a moment. So yeah, let's go across and have a look at their Marshal units, shall we? So as you can see, guys, we have them here. They are another melee. They have very good speed and defense. I know I've versed these guys a lot. So some of their special abilities, as I know, like they get like plus like 10% less damage taken and stuff like that. So they absorb damage really good, but they also give out damage of 34 to 40 damage points, as well as 93 HP and 91 defense. I honestly think the Marshals are one of the best in the game. But you can use anti-cavalry against these guys and really mess them up as well. Speed is amazing. Their siege is pretty decent as well. They do cost a little bit on the expensive side for conscription, with 11,900 per 50 units of command. But yeah, and you don't really have many speed buffs except for on the ring and stuff like that. But yeah, very fast movement speed and stuff like that. They do really good damage. They have very good defense as well. So overall, they're a very good tier 4 unit. I'd put them up there with one of the best in the game. As well as their decent, well, I wouldn't say decent, I'd say pretty damn good map positioning. As long as you can strengthen your borders at like the Gap of Rohan, down at the Dunharrows from Gondor, and up at Fanghorn Forest, so you can protect your borders, you'll be doing pretty well. And you want to be branching out and getting areas like up to Undeeps and stuff and heading towards the ring as soon as possible. Otherwise, you're right in the middle. You can be squashed and be attacked on multiple fronts. That's probably the big issue with Rohan. But yeah, they can get access to Ants and Eagles and stuff like that pretty quickly. So they can have some pretty strong built-up armies pretty quickly. And because with their march speed and that, they can definitely move and get map positioning a lot quicker if they work together as a team. So yeah, guys, that's a look at all the good side. So yeah, take in consideration again, if you played good as Season 1, and you've already got some of your commanders unlocked, maybe you were super lucky and unlocked a Tier 3 commander, I highly recommend going with one of those. If I was to pick out of any of those ones, my top pick, I'd probably want to go with, like, say, ARNOR, for example. And then, like, I've already played Gondor, but I think Gondor and Rohan are definitely a good second and third right there. EREBOR and that, I just think they're a bit slow. You have to move so far, especially if you want to go for total domination with the ring. But yeah, it's up to personal preference, guys. I've put all the information out there for you, so hopefully it will make yourself, as well as maybe some leaders of full fellowships might be watching, and it may help you guys out. Another big tip as well I want to give you guys, with the servers being merged, just even though you might have fought with some people, just try to get along with everyone at the end, because all of you guys may have to work together after the servers are merged for Season 2. So you may have been versing EREBOR and you were Mordor and you were arch enemies, but you guys might just end up being on the same team and go into the same faction Season 2. So yeah, just keep that in mind. Alright guys, so let's go over and have a look at Evil now. I haven't talked about Evil much on the channel, so you guys that have Evil factions are going to be looking forward to this a hell of a lot, so let's go, shall we? Rightio guys, so here we have Mordor, obviously the home of Sauron and the big eye on his little tower, who we beat up pretty recently in our server. But yeah, they've got a pretty good starting position. They've got a lot of protection from all those big giant cliffs and mountains of rock. The only people they really need to worry about early game is Gondor. Even then, like, it would take a while before you can even attack them unless you attack them from the south and go for a southern Khan. You will have some battles with RHUN, who are a pretty decent AI in Season 1, but in Season 2 everyone's going to be playing, so you can possibly have some battles with RHUN and that in Season 2 as well, and they will be a player-controlled faction in Season 2. Now their special ability here, as you can see, is Land of Darkness, which gives a 5% resource production. Now, but it's very, very hard to find wood and food tiles and that in Mordor, so you eventually have to get out and search for those. But you can get access to Mumakil if you're very early and get into Harrondor and stuff like that. But yeah, their special units, the Ravagers, are very, very, very strong and tanky. So yeah, let's go have a look at their Ravagers, shall we? So here we go, guys. We have the Ravager, which is a Tier 4 troll. Basically, these guys can do an enormous amount of damage. They have amazing HP, and they have very good defense as well. Their siege is unbelievably good at 620. You get 4 per command. So I think in total, as a level 50, you can get around about like 200 or something. No, I think it's around like 80. I think it's limited 80, I think, in an army, but I could be wrong. I don't know a whole lot about the Evil, but I've versed a lot of these guys in battle, and the most I've seen is 80, I think, in a unit, which sounds about right now that I think about it. But yeah, their damage of 400 to 421, these guys will mess up your day. Unless you counter these guys are really tough. Their HP of 1300. So yeah, you do have 80 of those times 1300. And that's going to be a lot of HP that you have to deal with. As well as the other troops yeah, these guys are going to do massive damage. And they have very good defense as well. You guys want to be countering these guys with ranged, like bow knights, for example, on the good side. Yeah, you want to be using ranged against trolls, guys. Just think of the Lord of the Rings lore when you're watching the movie and the troll gets taken down with the arrows through the head and throat and stuff like that. So just think, yeah, Lord of the Rings lore, range should work good against these guys. So yeah, you want to be using ranged like sharpshooters and stuff like that versus your Ravengers. But yeah, these guys are very good defensive, very good for siege, and honestly, one of the best in the entire game for a tier 4, especially for the evil side. The conscription amounts are really good, but food costs an absolute lot. And like I said, it's very hard to find food early. In the first few weeks of Mordor, you have to head out and stuff like that. So yeah, they're very heavy on the food conscription wise, but overall, they're a very strong tier 4 unit. Rightio guys, we're moving on to Isengard now. Now Isengard's map positioning is very good as well. You obviously, with the new Lindon and ARNOR, there's going to be more threats there. As well, you will have access to be able to go over through in ROHAN and get access to things like Ents early and push up your way up through the elves and get yourself some eagles. Now Isengards have the Ring of Iron, which basically the conscription cost is minus 10%, which is extremely good. So it's going to cost them a lot less to conscript their units. Now their tier 4, the Snaggerthrak, is just a very good. Basically, they're a very good all around. They're very hard to counter in many ways, especially if they're put together with some of their special troops that do the fire damage and the poison damage. They can be a very, very, very nasty a tier 4 troop in Lord of the Rings Rise of War. So let's go have a look at these Snaggerthraks, shall we? Yeah, these guys are definitely fun to battle. So as you can see, guys, their damage range can be between 7 and 67. Don't really take that into account. Trust me, they can do a lot of damage. Their HP and defense is very good. I'd say these guys, you could say balanced, but definitely well above average balance. Now their conscription is very good. Their conscriptions cost are very low, as you can see with the 10% conscription less. Obviously you get 50 per command, and these guys are melee. So yeah, these guys will do a lot of damage with very decent defense as well. So yeah, in summary there, but you are bordered by a lot of different areas. You sort of are mid-map with Isengard as well, but you can push down and get access to Oathbreakers and stuff like that, because you guys on Evil can get Oathbreakers as well if you didn't know. So yeah, keep that in mind. But Isengard, I think they got very good tier 4 units. The conscription cost is an extremely good buff as well. They just don't have the world's best map positioning where you could possibly get ganged up on. That's all I can really say about Isengard. Next, guys, we have ANGMAR, which I really like. Like, if we ever go over to Evil at one point, I definitely wouldn't mind playing as ANGMAR. I remember when I played Lord of the Rings, Battle for Middle-earth, the Witch King expansion back on PC years ago when I was a teenager. I absolutely loved it. Now, ANGMAR, they're right up on the top of the map. You can get access early to the Barrow Wights, which is sort of like the undead for Evil. You will be getting in battles with EREBOR pretty early, for example. But besides that, you're pretty chill for early game. But their special ability is their siege damage of 5%, so they're very good at doing siege damage. But their special unit, the Fallen, may just be one of the best in the entire game. You probably versed some of these guys on 300 tiles. They are extremely good, especially when paired with healing commanders. So we're going to go have a look at these buggers, which I am probably going to put up there, guys, as the best tier 4 unit in the game. Quote me if I'm wrong, but these guys are amazing. They have really good damage at 32 to 42, but their HP and defense is extremely above average. They're very well balanced and very good. Their conscriptions cost a slightly decent, but a bit higher on the food side, and it costs an hour per 50. So it's going to take you quite a while to get a bunch of these guys done. But their speed is very good, and their siege is very good as well. But yeah, these guys, very good defense, good attack, excellent HP. If you're over on evil side, if you got someone like RHUN who does a lot of healing, extremely good combination to use on the evil side with matching these Fallen with RHUN if you're going with ANGMAR guys. Or going with an extremely damaging attack with good defense, with the Witch King as a commander, for example. But in my opinion, guys, Fallen definitely I'd put up there as the top tier 4 unit in the entire game at the moment. Amazing damage, defense, HP. So yeah, as well as you got pretty good, nice chill map positioning, access to early to the Barrow Whites and stuff like that. I think ANGMAR is a very good evil faction if you're over on the evil side and you already played evil in Season 1, and you will get the option to use your commanders again. And of course, you can use the 24-hour special ability to switch over and train up good ones in case you want to go to good on Season 3. But yeah, roughly we're looking at about 2 to 2.5 months per season as of now. But yeah, extremely good. I've got nothing more to say about ANGMAR except for I love their map positioning. Their tier 4 Fallen are extremely good, and yeah, a very good evil. So if you want to go with ANGMAR, which in my opinion is one of my favorites just because I've always liked the Witch King and that, go ahead and pick ANGMAR, guys. A very good choice for evil. Righto, guys, so we're coming up to our last one here, which is RHUN. Now, these guys are situated early on the map that I showed you before, just above MORDOR there and below the Dwarven-owned faction areas. Well, they're not owned by Dwarves, but Dwarves will reach down towards RHUN at some point, so you will be getting into battles with MORDOR and the Dwarves. But you got some pretty good things here. You have a stamina recovery rate of plus 5%, which is very good. Because stamina, waiting for that can be very annoying. So that's going to help you guys a lot. Especially with your ring abilities, you want to be leveling up so you max your stamina bars to 30 ability points as soon as possible. But your special tier 4 units as well are very good. But with map positioning, very good map positioning to go for the ring. And it's just you got pretty good defense. If you can make a good diplomacy with MORDOR early and make an alliance with those two evil factions, you've got a very good strong hold point there to push over west towards the ring and stuff like that. There's also, I've seen a lot of areas over there, abundances of wood and stuff like that over in their areas and stuff like that, so there's plenty of resource tiles over there. But your special units, war chariots, like I said before, if you wanted to help me out with a like on a video, this took me freaking ages to get one of these screenshots of the war chariots. It might be a little bit blurry, but I finally got one. War chariots are very good. You get 20 units per command. They do now, these guys, I don't know, they might be up there with Fallen. It may be even better than Fallen, but like just extremely good. The war chariots. So you get 20 per command. They are a melee attack. Their damage is 45 to 60, which is definitely up there with the highest tiers. But their HP of 260 is extremely good with 70 damage. These guys are absolute tanks and also absolute, they mincemeat people. They amazing attack as well. Like if you're an evil, if you match these with the tier 3 trolls and then a nice damaging attacking troops from evil, you're going to be doing some serious damage with these guys. You want to pair, if you pair these guys, for example, with the Witch King to do extreme damage, or if you want to use their HP and use them with like RHUN, for example, with his healing ability, and do a more of a defensive strategy and also do big damage at the same time. Yeah, RHUN, in my opinion, is definitely one of the best up there with ANGMAR. I'd nearly put those as even together. So yeah, it's pretty simple. If you wanted to play evil, I'll be going with either RHUN or ANGMAR, and they have very good map positioning as well, guys. And their conscription amounts are pretty decent, a little bit higher on the food, but they definitely have access to more food tiles than definitely MORDOR, for example. But the War Chariot definitely up there. Like, I'd say it's probably the second best in the entire game, above or better than any of the good T4s, and they're up there with Fallen. In defensive, they're 100 times better for defense than Fallen, but not the best attack compared to Fallen. But yeah, guys, that's probably going to sum it up for all of the factions in Lord of the Rings Rise of the War. So hopefully that gives guys a good insight on what you guys want to pick. Just again, reminder, if you did play Evil or Good as Season 1, I highly recommend sticking with that side and for Season 2, and then using your ability every 24 hours in the tavern to be able to level up some of the good commanders' respect points, or the evil commanders, vice versa, and work on that for Season 3. So yeah, guys, it's been a super long video. If you guys sat here and watched the whole thing, I really appreciate it. Absolute friggin' legends. Like always, smash that like button, subscribe if you're new. Yeah, I put a lot of time, effort, and hard work. I've almost lost my voice. I need to go get a nice drink now, because I did this whole video nearly straight up 36 minutes dead straight speaking. So yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed today's video. And until next time, peace out, EJ's out, and I'll catch you later. See yous. Of the EJU.